Hello, this is Tony Hiller from realclimatescience.com. Google AI reports, yes, 2023 has been the hottest year on record, with every month from June to November being the hottest ever recorded globally. The 2023 Arctic Report Card, a peer-reviewed report by 82 authors from 13 countries, also found that the Arctic sea ice extent is continuing to decline. And Google AI shows that Antarctic sea ice extent is the lowest on record. We've seen the official story from 82 authors in 13 countries. Now let's take a look at what's actually going on. January 3rd, Arctic sea ice extent is actually the highest in 20 years. This graph shows January Arctic sea ice extent for every year from 1979 to the current year. 2024 is in red. You can see that extent is a little bit below the average since 1979, but it's higher than 20 other years. Meanwhile, in the southern hemisphere, Antarctic sea ice extent is higher than 1980, 1981, 1997, 1998, 2006, and most recent years. Antarctic sea ice extent is a little bit below the average since 1979, but there's no indication that it is disappearing. If we combine the Arctic and the Antarctic into a global sea ice extent graph, we see the same thing. It's a little bit below the 1979 to 2024 average. Google AI is parroting the nonsense it picks up off the internet. But this is the part that I find particularly amusing. The loss of Arctic ice has several consequences. Warmer air destabilizes the polar jet stream, which can cause it to dip south and bring colder weather. They want people to believe that the very cold weather coming to the United States is caused by missing Arctic sea ice. They also want people to believe that the record cold in China is caused by missing Arctic sea ice. It's a fascinating theory, except for the fact that Arctic sea ice extent is the highest in 20 years. The New York Times now blames the polar vortex on global warming, but in 1978 they blamed the same polar vortex on global cooling. 50 years ago, droughts, floods, blizzards, tornadoes, typhoons, and hurricanes were all blamed on a worldwide cooling trend and the polar vortex moving south. Time magazine, June 24, 1974, another ice age. Scientists have found other indications of global cooling, the so-called circumpolar vortex. These scientists are very resourceful. They're even recycling the same global cooling diagrams from 1975 to explain global warming. They say a wavy jet stream is caused by global warming and missing Arctic sea ice. But in 1975, Science News said that a wavy jet stream was caused by global cooling and expanding Arctic sea ice. It's very resourceful of these climate academics to use the same global cooling diagrams to explain global warming. In 1975, they weren't trying to sell global warming, rather they were trying to sell the idea of a new ice age. At the Nobel Prize ceremony in 2007, Al Gore solemnly predicted an ice-free Arctic by the year 2014.
Another new study to be presented by U.S. Navy researchers later this week warns it could happen in as little as 7 years. 7 years from now. In the last few months, it has been harder and harder to misinterpret the signs that our world is spinning out of kilter.
This graph shows the Arctic sea ice minimum every year since 2007, when Al Gore made his prediction. Al Gore was wrong about 2014, and there's no indication that Arctic sea ice is disappearing. 82 authors from 13 countries said that Arctic sea ice extent is continuing to decline, but that simply isn't true. The ice doesn't lie, but climate scientists do. Toto has been pulling back the curtain on the climate scam for almost 16 years. You can visit him and his family on the web at realclimatescience.com.